Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 1, Chapter 19, Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, Text 25. And we're very fortunate this morning to have Her Grace Gita Devi Dasi, Mother Gita from ISKCON Atlanta to give the class. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, and it's all yours, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braj Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahams Parivrajakacarya Stotra Shat Srimati Divine Grace C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jadvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
To Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
All glories to Shri Guru and Guru.
Excuse me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, verse number 25. Excuse me. Tatra bhavad bhagavan vyasaputro yadrachaya gam atamano nakshaha alakshalingo nijalabhatushto vritascha pale ravadhuta vishaha. Tatra there, abhavat appeared, Bhagavan powerful, Vyasaputraha son of Vyasadev, Yadrachaya as one desires, Gam the earth, Atmanaha while traveling, Anapekshaha disinterested, Alaksha unmanifested, Lingaha symptoms, Nijalabha self-realized, Tushtaha satisfied, Vritaha surrounded, Cha and Balehe by children, Avadhuta neglected by others, Veshaha dressed. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Purport. The word Bhagavan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Shukadev Goswami. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world because they are self satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service. As explained before, Shukadev Goswami never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory performances. His father Vyasadeva was his natural spiritual master because Shukadev Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal processes are necessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation, but Sri Shukadev Goswami was already in that status by the grace of his father. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was uninterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what was to be done. For spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to the different modes of different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great and powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the scene. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The verse once again. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Very nice verse. So many different points, especially Srila Prabhupada's purport gives us in-depth understanding of this verse. The first point that we can think of is powerful son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is not an ordinary personality. He is an incarnation of Krishna. And Shukadev Goswami, who is the powerful son of Vyasadeva, is also not an ordinary personality. He is one of the 12 Mahajanas, great personality. And there is description of the characteristics of Shukadev Goswami. First of all, he was disinterested. He was not attached to anything material. He was not attached to family. He was not even attached to his own body. And he was self-satisfied. It's because of the state of his consciousness. Excuse me. So, herein, he is addressed as Bhagavan. And Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear. Excuse me. He makes it very clear that here, when Shukadev Goswami is addressed as Bhagavan, it doesn't mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, not the same level. It's just that Bhagavan is sometimes used for great devotees like Shukadev Goswami. It's used in that relation, not that he is the Supreme Lord. And from this verse and the purport, we can understand that Shukadev Goswami was a liberated soul. He was not materially infected at all. Why? He was not interested in materialism. He was very satisfied within himself. See, this is the situation which, at least hearing about Shukadev Goswami, we can realize how to be self-satisfied. We've been trying for a very long time, birth after birth, to satisfy our senses. But somehow or the other, we are still unsatisfied. We want something, we get it, and then the pleasure of getting what we wanted has faded out. And now we want something new. So there is no satisfaction. It's because we are running after material things. Material things cannot give us satisfaction. But here, Shukadev Goswami, because he was so devoted to the Lord, he was so much in love of Krishna that he did not care about anything that was going on around. He was fully satisfied. You see, it becomes very difficult for those who have many desires, many expectations, many attachments, and that leads to entanglement. You see, and when there is entanglement, then there is distress, there is dissatisfaction. So, Srila Prabhupada, he has given us a very simple process by which we can be completely satisfied. We don't need to look for satisfaction elsewhere. We don't need to run after this or that here or there, or for this one or that one. There is no need at all. Just that simple process. And what is that simple process? A strong morning program. Very, very strong, which means we wake up in the Brahma Muhurat and we chant the holy names of the Lord in the morning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is a prescription for Kali Yuga, right? Krite yadhyayato Vishnum tretayam yajatomake. Dwapare paricharan, kalau tad Hari Kirtan. In kalau, in Kali Yuga, only Hari Kirtan, only chanting the holy names of Lord Hari, that's Krishna. So when we chant the holy names attentively, we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we associate with devotees, we do some service, we follow the 4 rules, very strictly, then there's going to be complete satisfaction. Because then we don't have to run around. You see, satisfaction is within. One time, Srila Prabhupada gave a nice example that the deer, you see, the deer, the musk is inside the body of the deer, and that fragrance is coming from within the deer. But the deer is running here and there trying to find from where is that fragrance coming from. It's within. Similarly, satisfaction is within us. Krishna is within us. So we don't need to look for satisfaction elsewhere. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Shukadev Goswami, he did not accept a spiritual master formally. Why? Because his father was his natural spiritual master. When Shukadev Goswami was in the womb of his mother, he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva. And just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, Shukadev Goswami became liberated and he became fully satisfied. He didn't need to look for satisfaction elsewhere. So see, from this point, we can understand it's very important to have a bona fide spiritual master. Someone who has seen the truth, like Bhagavad Gita says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashna sevya upadyakshanti te jnanam gnaninas tattvadarshina. He's a tattvadarshina, bona fide spiritual master. He has seen the truth. He knows Krishna. So he can guide us. He can train us how to become self-satisfied. You see, we need a teacher in any sphere of life. Whether I want to learn dancing, music, software, karate, judo, whatever it may be, we need a teacher. So, why not have a teacher for spirituality also? You see, the spiritual master can guide us to the highest perfectional stage of life. He can guide us how to become self realized, provided the disciple follows the instructions of the guru. You see? So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the ultimate aim of life. Now, people generally have a goal in life. I hope everybody has a goal in life. Some have a goal of becoming a millionaire. Some have a goal of, having a big house or whatever goal it may be, or, go up the ladder in the professional life, whatever it may be. But the ultimate goal of life, especially for the human beings, is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to Krishna. That should be our goal. Once we try for that, everything else will fall in place. You see, just like we water the root of the tree, then the whole tree gets nourished automatically. We don't need to separately water the leaves and the flowers and the fruits, etc. No, just water the root. Similarly, when we have Krishna as our aim, ultimate aim, everything else falls in place. So here, Shukadev Goswami, we see he appears at that place where Parikshit Maharaj is about to give up his body. He's fasting until death. He's been cursed to die in 7 days. So he decided to fast on the bank of the Ganges. And at that place, Shukadev Goswami appears, where so many saintly people also had gathered. And the verse is also explaining such nicely the wonderful description of Shukadev Goswami. Bhagawan, he's been addressed as Bhagawan. In the scriptures, there is a very nice verse which says, Aishwarasya samagrasya virasya yashashriya. There are 6 opulences that if anyone has an unlimited potency, unlimited degree, that personality is called Bhagawan. Bhaga means opulence, one means possessor of these opulences. And that is Krishna himself. That is who is considered as Bhagwan. But here, Shukadev Goswami, being a great devotee, is addressed as Bhagwan. Sometimes Bhagwan is used for Vyasadev, sometimes for Narad Muni also. See? So when it is used for great devotees, it does not mean they are God. It's just a respectful address for the great devotees. And such liberated devotees, they are not interested in the material world. They're completely pure. There is no taint of material contamination in these devotees at all. They are never touched by modes of material nature. They're always spiritually active because they only perform spiritual activities. Everything that they do is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. So here we see Shukadev Goswami, he is disinterested. Why? Because he is self-satisfied. Devotional service actually is so satisfying that automatically people are not interested in sense gratification. And what is devotional service? Serving the Lord with devotion, following his instructions. And his very first instruction is Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Datiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, no other way, no other way except chanting, chanting, chanting. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are performing devotional service, and that is what is going to bring satisfaction for us. Then gradually one will lose interest in enjoying the senses. So here Shukadev Goswami, he was liberated by birth. He had heard Srimad Bhagavatam while he was in the womb of his mother. So that means he got the spiritual knowledge even before he was born. There was no need for him to study the Vedas. There was no need for him to go through reformatory process. No need. No need for samskaras. No need for any purification, like, Upanayan, that sacred thread ceremony. No need at all. Why? Because he was already self-realized soul. And Vyasadev, who's an incarnation of Krishna, was his natural spiritual master. How did he become his natural spiritual master? First of all, he was Shukadev Goswami's father. And secondly, the father gave spiritual knowledge to his son. Of course, Vyasadev, being an incarnation of Krishna, was himself self-realized. He was a pure devotee. He is considered to be an empowered incarnation of Krishna. So Shukadev Goswami was very fortunate to have such a father and get the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam from his father. And that is the reason Prabhupada says that Vyasadev became the first spiritual master of Shukadev Goswami. You see, just by hearing, so powerful. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that hearing the holy name is so powerful, the sound vibrations are so powerful, they enter into the heart through the ears and purify the heart. And when the purification takes place, one automatically becomes satisfied within oneself. And so Shukadev Goswami, being self-satisfied, he did not care, about how he looked, what dress, in fact, how to dress. In fact, he was not even dressed. He was not interested in social customs. He was indifferent to everybody. And that is why he was neglected by general people. The common people who were around him, like the children and women and all, they could not identify with his nature. They could not recognize that here is this personality who is self-satisfied, disinterested, who is self-realized. They did not understand the elevated position of Shukadev Goswami. They just thought he's a madman. He's not even dressed and he's just walking around, without saying anything. They just thought he's a madman. See how unfortunate those people were. They could not recognize a pure devotee of the Lord like Shukadev Goswami. But Shukadev Goswami, he was like an avadhuta. Who's an avadhuta? Someone who is disinterested in social customs. He was beyond bodily concept of life. See, that's the first instruction of the Bhagavad Gita. You are not this body. That's the first instruction. So for one to become self-realized, one has to at least go beyond the bodily concept. At least, come out of that bodily identification. Just, kind of worshiping the body. Let me see what I can feed my body, dress my body, this and that for the body. Yes, we need to take care of the body, but not be so attached that we forget our real identity, which is the spirit soul. We are a spirit soul. And the spirit soul is within the heart, along with the super soul, which is Krishna himself in the form of Paramatma. So Shukadev Goswami, he was beyond the bodily concept of life. He did not identify with his body. He knew, being self-realized, he knew that he is the eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarup hoy, Krishnera Nityadas, eternal servant of Lord Krishna. So if one practices the process of how to become self-realized, how to become self-satisfied, the process is given to us in the scriptures. And Srila Prabhupada has explained it in such simple ways how we can reach the stage of self-realization and come out of the conditioned state. See, when a person starts identifying with the body, that means that person is in the conditional stage of life, is conditioned. And it's only a bona fide spiritual master that can remove that conditioning with the help of training the disciple, guiding the disciple, and then gradually the disciple can become self realized. You see, this parampara of guru and disciple is nothing new. It's been going on for millions of years. Just like Krishna, he says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam. Krishna said, I spoke this spiritual science to sun god Vivaswan millions of years ago. And then this knowledge is coming down in strict disciplic succession from Brahma to Narada to Vyasa to Madhva. It's just coming down all the way to Srila Prabhupada. So it's nothing new. Even when Krishna came down 5,000 years ago, he accepted a bona fide spiritual master, Sandipani Muni, just to set an example. He is Bhagavan. He doesn't need a guru, but yet he accepted to set an example. When Krishna came down 540 years ago as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted a bona fide spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. You see? So, here we see that Shukadev Goswami, he also had a bona fide spiritual master, which is Srila Vyasadeva. So, this verse is explaining to us the appearance of Shukadev Goswami. He's arrived at that same spot where Parikshit Maharaj is fasting for 7 days and preparing for going back to Godhead when the death appears in 7 days. So, how did Shukadev Goswami appear at the same scene? He came on his own accord. No one invited him, no one called him. And how? Because he was directed by the supersoul within the heart that this is where he needs to go, because Krishna wanted Srimad Bhagavatam to be spoken by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj for our benefit. It may appear that Shukadev Goswami was just roaming around. No, he was directed by the super soul within the heart. Go and speak to Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to die. What is the duty of one who is about to die? To hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to take on spiritual knowledge, to remember the Supreme Lord, so that at the time of death, one is able to remember the Lord and go back to the spiritual world. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever one thinks at the time of death, to that state one attains without fail. So here is the preparation that is necessary to really pass the final examination, which is death. Now one may say, well, I'm going to take on spiritual knowledge at the time of death. Do we know when we are going to die? We don't. So we need to practice it on a daily basis. So Krishna is there within the heart to guide us, provided we are ready to take the guidance. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto matah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He says, I'm there in everyone's heart, and based on the choice we make, whether to remember him, to forget him, or to get his knowledge, he will guide us accordingly. He's actually our guru within the heart, ready to guide us. But the $1,000,000 question is, Are we ready to take that guidance? Or are we interested in just living the life we want to, the way we want to? We need to make that choice. And if we decide, yes, I definitely want to remember Krishna, I want his knowledge, then Krishna will make the arrangements so that we can get that knowledge. And then once we get the knowledge, then it behooves us to follow the instructions. The instructions are already there in the Bhagavad Gita, they are in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada in his purpose has given such nice explanation for all the verses. So to be able to reach that stage of self-realization, one needs to follow the process. Simple process. In Satya Yuga, it was meditation for thousands of years. Treta Yuga, it was fire sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, it was elaborate worship in the temple. In Kali Yuga, it's only chanting, but chanting attentively. What do we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is the Maha Mantra that is given to us for Kali Yuga. It's a prescription. Just like when we have a disease, the doctor gives us a prescription to cure the disease. So in Kali Yuga, the disease that we have, the infection we have is called Maya, illusion. And to remove that, we need to chant the Maha Mantra. And when one starts chanting this Maha Mantra daily, every day, then gradually the anarthas from the heart will be gone. And there's going to be purification of the heart. And then one will become self realized. One will go beyond the bodily concept of life. And then that will bring satisfaction. We don't need to look for satisfaction outside, it is within us. Excuse me, it's within us. All we need to do is revive our Krishna consciousness. And the best method is given to us already. Simple method. Just chant, follow 4 rules very strictly, read Srila Prabhupada's books, serve, associate with devotees. That's it. Nothing more needs to be done. That will lead us to self-realization. So if we want to take advantage of this golden opportunity we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, it's not that everybody gets the opportunity. It's based on our past pious credit that we get this golden opportunity. Now, the million-dollar question is, what do we do with this opportunity? Do we take it up seriously, or do we just let it slide by? So here we see Shukadev Goswami, who's a liberated soul, who's a great devotee, powerful son of Vyasadev, self-satisfied, beyond bodily concept of life. He has arrived to guide Parikshit Maharaj, and in the process, guide us through Srimad Bhagavatam on how to become self-realized. So the verse once again. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. I'll stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a very nice class. So many reminders, so many takeaways. Dear devotees, wonderful attendance. At least 18 people on there now. Please unmute yourself, ask questions, share realizations, share takeaways as you like. This is the time for us to have some Krishna Katha and get some more wisdom from Mother Gita. So please unmute your phones, unmute yourselves, not phones, and then ask questions as you like.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Hare
glories to
And
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to you. Mataji, it's a nice class, lot of instructions, lot of guidance. You said Sarvasya Chaham Rujusannivisto, so Super Soul is in your heart and is guiding. So, how do we realize what is the guidance and how to act upon it?
Yes, very important question. So I had once heard from my spiritual master the answer to this question, and he had said that whatever we think, say, supposing I feel that this is what the super soul is guiding me, then we need to make sure that it's according to Guru Sadhu Shastra. If it is what the Guru says, what the Acharyas have said, and what the Shastras say, then we know it's a guidance coming from the Super Soul. And if we have a doubt, then we need to clarify it from our spiritual master or an advanced devotee, and not just because sometimes the mind can fool us. The mind can say, oh, it is from the super soul, this guidance is from the super soul. But if we are doubtful, then we can confirm it with spiritual master or an advanced devotee. I hope that helps, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Guys, so did the buddies want more questions, more takeaways? Please unmute yourselves and join in the conversation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all that is Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful class. The right points. Thank you so much. And just thinking on the point, Mataji, Sukhdev Goswami is self-satisfied. So for us, what takes to be in go towards that state of mind or that journey to be self-satisfied and not interested in this material anchoring or the material way of life?
Yes. So that Srila Prabhupada is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in his purports, and the he says that 99% of our progress in Krishna consciousness depends on chanting attentively. Once we start chanting attentively, if we are not yet chanting attentively, then everything else will fall in place. Then that chanting attentively is going to cleanse the heart of all anarthas. And then there will be automatically satisfaction within oneself. We will not have to try, or there is no other formula that, oh, let me do this, and then I will be self satisfied. Or, no, just chanting attentively, because when we actually recite the 11 offenses, right, towards chanting the holy names of the Lord. And the last one, the 11th one, is attentive chanting, because if we do not chant attentively, then we are automatically, gradually starting to commit the other 10 offenses also. And committing offenses while chanting, actually, it does not help us progress spiritually, but it brings us down. So if we start chanting attentively, then we will have taste for hearing, we will have taste for associating with devotees, we will, start following the four rules and regulations very strictly. We will start reading Srila Prabhupada's books more. And the more we will do that, the more satisfaction we will get. So there's no other way. There's no other way. Just because even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, the sound vibrations are so powerful. And that is why in Kali Yuga, the process is hearing the chanting of the Maha Mantra. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Wonderful. Yes, truly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes.
All close to Prabhupada.
Jai Shri.
Hey, Krishna. Yeah. So, there is one question from dear Krishna Prabhu, which she typed on the chat, so I'm going to read it. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for such a nice class. Like you mentioned, It's a great fortune to get opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. At the same time, how to find the correct source. There are so many people doing Bhagavatam Katha all around. And the next question is how to keep encouraging ourselves to take the next steps. We try to chant and follow regulated principles. Please share some tips to keep progressing. So he wants first the right source for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and also how to progress spiritually.
Yes.
Even though we're chanting and following regulated principles now, how to progress.
Very important questions, yes. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly says in the 2nd verse, Evam parampara praptam imam rajashiyo vidu, that we need to hear, the spiritual science, including the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. We need to hear from parampara. So before we attend any Bhagavatam class, or whether it is on YouTube or on Facebook or Zoom or wherever it may be, or in person, we need to find out the source. Is this speaker in the parampara? That is very, very important, because Srila Prabhupada says in the parampara, the authenticity of the data is maintained. Very, very important. See, the guru, whatever the guru tells the disciple, that disciple gives the same knowledge as it is to his disciple. So it's coming down in strict disciplic succession. So important to find out the source. Not that we go to a Bhagavatam katha where lots of people are there, so it must be good. It's not necessary. So it's important to find out where is the source. If the speaker, find out who the speaker is, who is the guru of that speaker, who is the guru of that guru. Is that chain going all the way up to Krishna? That is how we will find out the source. Second question is how to keep encouraging ourselves to take the next step. Association of devotees. Because just like Prabhupada says that if we are not enthusiastic, then we should pretend to be enthusiastic. And then we should associate with those who are enthusiastic so that their enthusiasm will rub off on us. So to encourage ourselves, we need to associate with those who are encouraging themselves, who are trying, to chant more attentively, who are trying, to be enthusiastic about reading Srila Prabhupada's books and very enthusiastic about serving. I remember a long time ago, I think it was last year, Janardhan Maharaj was giving a class in the Atlanta temple. He was visiting Atlanta for a week, and a Sunday feast, I think it was, he was giving lecture. And then one of the temple devotees after the class came and made an announcement that we need some help in the kitchen for cooking, prasadam. Nobody got up to go to the kitchen to help except one lady, and that was my sister. She walked in, and then I walked behind her. Nobody got up. Here is an opportunity to serve, to do service. So if we associate with enthusiastic devotees who want to serve, who want to, talk about Krishna Katha, then we will start progressing and taking on the next steps. I hope that helps, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, maybe he'll type the response to also. I think he already, well. Thank you, Mataji. That has brought some questions to mind too for myself, so I'm going to ask. First of all, my takeaway. My nice takeaway from this is Mahamantra is a prescription. We mentioned the chanting the holy name is a prescription. Now, my question is, and I've heard others say exactly what you said also. If you're not enthusiastic, pretend to be enthusiastic. Some people may say, well, if I'm pretending and I'm not really doing it for real, I'm like a sahaja. So is pretend then the same as practice doing it? Or I mean, what's your comment about that? The word pretending, how the Buddhists might think, pretension is sometimes is used in a negative way.
Yes, very true. So we have to be true to ourselves. So when Prabhupada says pretend to be enthusiastic, he's not talking about being a pretender like Krishna is talking to Arjuna, right? Krishna tells Arjuna, don't be a pretender. So one example that comes to my mind is, so you see, I'm actually says, so supposing I am not chanting the holy names, and I just carry my beads, just for show off. And when I see a devotee coming, I immediately put my hand in my in my bead bag, and I start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, so that the devotee can see I am chanting. That is a real pretender, right? But here, what Srila Prabhupada is talking about is pretend to be enthusiastic means, okay, so tomorrow, let's say don't feel like waking up early in the morning in the Brahma Muhurat, but then I'll say, I'll pretend like, no, I think I should. No, I think, yeah, I think I should, yes, yes, I will. And then, try to, bring in that enthusiasm, not pretending to show off to somebody, but trying to bring that enthusiasm inside so that I can progress spiritually. You see, that is the difference. One is to show off, and one is to try to, you can say, churn the heart so that there is some enthusiasm that comes out. But when we associate with enthusiastic devotees, it will come naturally to us. Have you noticed that when we attend Mangalarti in the temple, we are also enthusiastic because there are so many devotees and they're all dancing and jumping and chanting and singing the Samsara Dava, and Nrsimha prayer. And then everyone enthusiastically is chanting Hare Krishna. That is the power of association.
Thank you very much for explaining this. But before we go on, the questions from the chat, Dear Krishna Prabhu responded again, says, Jai, thank you. So he understood what you talked about. There's another one also that's come, and this is from Brett, Dr. Brett. Hare Krishna, Mother Gita, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Mother, in order to keep our urgency in Krishna consciousness, how can we, especially myself, continue to develop in seeing all our work as work for the sake of Krishna and Krishna's devotees? I may not always see the opportunity to serve directly due to my fallen nature. So, how can we not take our 7 days for granted and serve for the sake of Krishna in the temple and at home, or even in our material jobs, in an urgent yet diligent and determined mood for Krishna? So many are working for validation of a piece of paper, money that is, but how can we see all work, even scrubbing apart, as benefit for Krishna? Haribo.
Yes. So, if we remind ourselves over and over again that we can die any moment. Like on Friday, Dhir Krishna Prabhu said we can die in 7 days. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We can die any day, right? So if we can remind ourselves that we can die any moment, then we will understand the urgency. Unfortunately, most people in the material world, they have a idea, or they think I'm never going to die. Or at least I won't die till I'm 100 years old. So we need to remind ourselves on a daily basis the urgency of this life that we have, this human form of life that we have. And as far as the work is concerned, Prabhupada says that if we pray sincerely to Krishna to help me advance spiritually, to help me remember Karma Yoga, that okay, I am going to my job, I am going to work for the satisfaction of Krishna. Like Krishna told Arjuna, you fight, but you do it in my consciousness. So it's a matter of practice. Anything that we practice, then it becomes our nature. So if we keep practicing, two things, then you made very, very important points. The urgency. Unfortunately, we don't feel the urgency. We take everything casually. And Prabhupada says bhakti is not casual at all. You see? So if we pray to the Lord sincerely that please help me, first of all, to become more Krishna conscious. And secondly, that when I go to work in the morning, like I used to do when I used to work in the corporate office, the first thing that I would do is pray to the Lord, I'm going to work today. Let me work for you. And whatever I will earn from today's work, I will use it in your service. How? By, cooking for you, donating in the temple, buying books and distributing, having a class at home. So I will use the Lakshmi in your service. So when we start practicing, remind ourselves, we keep forgetting, right? So remind ourselves that we are going to work for Krishna. And then if we do that, like you say, 7 days, yes, we do take 7 days for granted. Why? Because we are not serious about bhakti yoga. We are not, we think that, I am going to not die, not at least soon, not soon at all. In fact, I had heard in one lecture that when we, before going to bed every night, we should thank Krishna for giving us a Krishna conscious day. And the next morning when we wake up, thank him for giving us another day, which means we are living from day to day to day. So if we keep that kind of consciousness, then we will, be able to progress. And nothing is dependent only on our endeavors. Two things, our endeavor and Krishna's mercy. And he says in the Bhagavad Gita that if we follow his instructions, surrender unto him, surrender means follow his instructions, and do whatever he is asking us to do, that is our endeavor. And then when he will see our sincere endeavors, he will shower his mercy and help us. Ye yatham mam pabadyante tam sthateva bhajamyaham, you see. So that is how we will be able to, it's not possible for us to do it ourselves. That is not possible. We need mercy of Krishna. I hope that helps, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you very much. Devotees, Hare Krishna, if you have more comments, takeaways, or questions, please unmute yourself and ask or make a comment, I have one more that I wanted to ask Mataji.
Excuse me, Prabhu. I just noticed I looked at the chat.
Yeah.
I was looking at the question of Brett Prabhu, and he says, so many are working for validation or a piece of paper. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. Yes. And if they want to do some service, they want others to notice it so that they can, be glorified for it, which is not the right attitude of service. Service is, like yesterday, I was at the temple and everyone was in the temple room, hearing the lecture, etc. But then afterwards, when I went to the kitchen, I saw there was one Prabhu who was scrubbing pots, and no one even knew that he was doing that. He did not do that service for any validation or for glorification, but he was doing that because he liked that service. He wanted to serve Krishna. So if we are looking for recognition, then that's not really, that is service, but not in the right attitude. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. And actually, you brought this point up twice, different ways, somebody going to the kitchen. First, it was your sister and yourself. In the middle of a lecture, the announcement was made that the help was needed in the kitchen. And nobody got out, but you and your sister went to the kitchen. So I'm assuming they did not want to go because, well, the service opportunity was there, but it also meant that they would not hear the lecture. Is that correct? That's
No, the lecture was over.
Oh, the lecture was over.
Yes, the lecture was over.
And then they asked them to come serve in the kitchen, and still nobody left to go. Okay. All right. Well, that explains it a little bit more clearly to me. I was wondering what was going on.
But then even if the lecture was going on, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna would be very happy if we went to the kitchen and helped. Because it is
Yes.
a service of Krishna and devotees, right? We can
Yeah.
hear the lecture even in the kitchen.
That's the point I was going to make. I was hoping that there's a system connected so that the lecture can be heard in the kitchen also. Yeah, many temples have that. So that's also very, very, very good way so people can hear. Sometimes even in the Goshala, some other people you can hear the temple the lecture all the way there. Depends on the temple and how they set up the electronics. I have one more question, Mataji.
Yes.
You were mentioning in the class only a bona fide spiritual master can remove the material conditioning. This is material conditioning. And I don't have anything against it. It is obviously it's true. The bona fide spiritual master is the one that purifies our heart and makes us come to Krishna more closely. Again, I'm asking for the sake of some people who may think, well, the spiritual master can remove, but that's who can remove. So I don't have to hear from any devotee except the spiritual master, because my material condition can be taken care of by the spiritual master. So if you're not a spiritual master, I don't have to hear you. Again, these are all things that happen in this. Please comment about that so that people, devotees are a little clearer on shiksha generally.
Yes, you gave the answer, Shiksha Guru. So there is a Diksha Guru, bona fide spiritual master, initiating spiritual master, and then there are Shiksha Gurus, those who are guiding us on the spiritual path. So we can take guidance from them also. Because it's not always that we are able to connect with the bona fide spiritual master personally. It could be email, phone call, or in person, which is rare, you can say. But then we have the opportunity to associate with advanced devotees and the ones who are guiding us, and we can take guidance from them also. Yes.
Thank you very much. I see Mataji, who is speaking,
Hare Krishna.
came on.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna,
please
Prabhuji.
go
Dandavat
on.
Pranam. Hare Krishna, Gita ji.
Hare Krishna Bhakti Rasa.
Thank you, Gita ji. Thank you for the nice lecture.
Glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother, please accept my humble obeisance all goes to Prabhupada.
Glories to Prabhupada.
I was trying to ask my question, and a couple of questions were I guess some devotees must be psychic. So they asked the question that I wanted to ask, so I was grateful for that. But I have one more question, Mother. And when you answer the question about hearing, right? How important is it that we hear from our chosen parampara and not from everyone? Because different parampara have different moods. How important is it for us to stick to hearing our chosen parampara and not make it into a khichdi? Like, what is the pros and the cons of that?
Yes, once I had heard a very nice analogy about this, is that when the girl gets married and comes, to to her husband's house. And on the very first day, she tells her husband, I love you, but I love your this neighbor also. I love your that neighbor also. And I love your that neighbor also. It doesn't work like that. See, you cannot do that. There has to be focus. So if we start hop, jump, and skip, then there's going to be, like you said, khichdi in our head. And then there will be not proper understanding. So focus is very important. Why is it that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this parampara? Why? Why is it that Krishna, he spoke to Brahma and we are in the Brahma Sampradaya, the whole disciplic succession. And this is because focus is important. We cannot, Vyavasatmika buddhi eke he kuru nandana, bahu shakha. It cannot be many branches. You see? If we start hearing here, there, everywhere, then there's going to be confusion, which is khichdi in the mind. I remember one devotee in Mumbai in the 90s, in the 80s, he was very firm in Krishna consciousness. He would come to the temple, do service, etc., etc. And then he started asking us to come to his house to give a class, to his neighbors and relatives, whoever. Then we noticed that he started having many books on his shelf from different authors and different paramparas, etc., etc. He was trying to follow everything. And I remember that one day he was in our spiritual master's room in Mumbai, and he told him that you need to just be focused on Srila Prabhupada's books. There's no need to, hear from here, there, everywhere, because there's going to be confusion, and then you may fall down. And that is what happened because he did not take that instruction seriously. He continued, hearing from here, there, everywhere, and then he was gone. No one knew where he went. He probably gave up Krishna consciousness because there was no focus. So it's very important. Even the parampara is teaching us the same. The acharyas is also teaching us the same. And we need to follow the parampara.
Thank you very much. Very, very important response to this, because when you mentioned this example of the person who was following different places and all of a sudden you couldn't, not all of a sudden, but later, he didn't come around. We've had a similar situation also in our temple. Somebody who was very enthusiastic at first, came even trying to play and sing, play a musical instrument and sing earlier. Later on, he went to different places and he was told, it's all the same. Shiva is the same. Krishna is the same. Durga is the same. The next thing you knew, well, they're all the same, so I can go anywhere. Go anywhere means he never returned to the Hare Krishna temple, the ISKCON temple. But yes, it can happen.
See,
And
Krishna is
go
very
ahead.
firm. He says, AK, only me. He says, only me. Not here, there, everywhere. Only me.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's very, 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 very important that we understand it that way.
Mother Gita, I think you hit the nail on the head. AK, that's the key point here. That we tend to forget and we do all the khichdi. And I think also, Mother Gita, because I've come across, devotees where they read from every book, every parampara. And I think the consciousness is, let me soak everything in so I can become Paramahamsa. I think, let me just grab it, take all the information and let me just grow within 1 year or something. But it's actually dangerous because it's actually a khichdi, like you said, because we're not following Prabhupada's instructions.
Mainly,
Our purpose is not right.
Sometimes that happens when one wants to pretend to be a scholar or pretend to be an all-knowing person, knows it all kind of, or, for some recognition or glorification. It could be, one of those reasons also. But the whole purpose of reading the scriptures is to become self-realized, not to memorize the verses or to show off the verses or to show off how much knowledge we have. So
Thank you very much. This is very, 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 very important. So we understand. As far as going different places too, sometimes this point is coming to my mind. I just want to, from validation of it. Srila Prabhupada, as far as I understand, he's the one that said to chant 16 rounds after his mercy. It was 64 first, and the boys couldn't do it and came down to 32. They still couldn't keep up. And then he said that, all right, 16 rounds minimum. I wonder if the other places that devotees go to, that they have any acharya that's also said chant 16 rounds. I don't see the power part that does that, as far as I know. So then if you, yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you what happened when I went to India for my treatment. I met another patient. You know, I made friends with other patients also. We would discuss, during breakfast, lunch, and dinner time. And so there, I came across some who had already accepted a spiritual master. I did not inquire, about the parampara or anything, but from the conversation, I could understand the guru said you can do whatever you want. No rules, you can do whatever you want, whatever suits you. You see? So the expression of Anasuya.
Yeah.
Of course, we have to also be polite. I did not want to, get into that conversation, but somehow managed to preach so that, at least they could start hearing Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Yeah. One more comment. Thank you, Mataji. One more comment from Dear Krishna on chat. His Holiness Bhakti Chiru Swami says, we are not spiritually proud of our parampara just out of sentimental reasons. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada gave us the highest. If someone has anything higher, show it to us and we will follow that. Other places, sadhana is given. The sadhana given is not so strong. Actually, no rules and regulations, just like you're talking about. That's why people get attracted due to laziness.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. This is back to choose on.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I ask you another question, please?
Krishna
Please go
Prabhu,
ahead.
Krishna Shanam Prabhu.
Very well. This Hare Nama Kevalam. This is what we follow. We are in the Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. So, do the other Sampradayas like Rudra, Lakshmi, and Chaturkumara, so what do they chant and what do they believe in?
Okay, so Srila Prabhupada says all the other three paramparas are also bona fide. And I personally don't have that knowledge what they chant, but Srila Prabhupada always said they are bona fide paramparas, the Shri Parampara, Rudra Parampara, and Kumara Parampara. But I had read about it long time ago, but poor memory. So I don't know if Parikshit Prabhu or Madana Suya knows, what they chant in their parampara, but no, I don't know. I've forgotten. Sorry.
The only thing I'll say about that is, and again, I'm not going to be able to answer it because I actually Prabhupada all the way. I'm so grateful about what Srila Prabhupada teaches, and there's so much to learn from Srila Prabhupada that I haven't really looked into other paramparas. Yeah, but I also know that this time of the Gita, I can actually second that the other paramparas are also bona fide. There's no question about that. They're also bona fide. I don't know whether they can take it to Goloka Vrindavan though. That's very, 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 very contestable there. I don't know about that point. But being bona fide, yes. Can take it to Vaikuntha, yes. Goloka Vrindavan is another story.
I remember hearing that in Sri Parampara, the Acharya is Ramanujacharya. I think so. And what they chant, I don't know. I'm not sure. Sorry, Prabhu.
Maybe you can do some research into that.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anyone else that wants to? We are past the hour now, and any last questions or realizations that you want to share? If not, then thank you very much for a wonderful, lively class and discussion. And starting the week wonderfully like that is so great for everybody spiritually. So please have a wonderful Krishna conscious day and take Rupa Goswami's instructions seriously. Always think about Krishna. Never forget Krishna wherever you are. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Gita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Gita.
Hare Krishna.
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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.